So last night we witnessed the first game of the NFL season, and the Lions start off hot, beating the Chiefs 21-20. Coming into this season, the Lions had a ton of hype, and I think rightly so. They ended the season off on a hot streak. They made a lot of additions on offense, on defense, and we saw the caliber that this Lions team can play at against a Chiefs team that for years and years has given people trouble on the defensive side of the ball, with Patrick Mahomes slinging it around as he typically does. But yesterday, we did not see that same firepower on the Chiefs offense. The biggest factor, of course, being Travis Kelce not playing. I think we saw last night just how important Travis Kelce truly is to this Chiefs offense. We already knew it. He's already, been one of the best tight ends in the NFL for years and years. But last night we witnessed the breakdown that happens when Travis Kelce is not present. So Chiefs fans have to be hoping that Kelce will be able to return next week, because if not, there are definitely some issues there when it comes to Mahomes' weapons. Because last night, those receivers were not getting open. Mahomes took an average of 3.39 seconds to throw the ball, according to PFF. Last year, on average, he took 2.85 seconds, which was already 27th in the league. So he's not that kind of quarterback that sits back there and, is super, passing it super quickly right away like an Aaron Rodgers type. He does sit back there, scramble a lot. And last night he was having to do a lot of scrambling because his guys weren't open. The Lions pass rush then started to get there, and he, had to move around the pocket, scramble around, and he did have a good amount of, rushes as well, which, helped this team. But the biggest factor was the terrible play of this Chiefs receiver core, specifically Kadarius Toney, who, if he wouldn't have dropped that perfect pass from Patrick Mahomes that turned into 7 points and a pick six by Brian Branch for the Lions, I think the Chiefs win that game. You can always, of course, take specific plays and say, well, if this would have gone this way, the outcome would have been different. But the outcome would have been different. And then you throw on top of that the other play where Mahomes in the fourth quarter, I think this is when the Chiefs were still down by one, there was a perfect ball to Kadarius Toney, who's basically wide open. And clearly he was having some mental, he clearly was affected by his first drop and his other drop. And so that one came in there, and he was just not mentally with it, I think. And you take just those two plays, I think the Chiefs win that game. And that's without Travis Kelce there. That's without Chris Jones on the defensive line. And so I think the Chiefs are going to be just fine as the season goes forward. Travis Kelce should be back next week. But you do have to give props to this Lions defense. I was debating, how much of this game was it the fact that the receivers on the Chiefs were just playing poorly? How much was it, the Lions have a really good secondary now? I'm not sure, because last year the Lions secondary was not good. This game, at least, they played really, really well. And I want to see going forward the next few weeks, can the Lions secondary keep up the play that they did against this Chiefs receiver core? Or was it just the fact that the Chiefs receivers just were straight up bad last night? I don't know exactly what it was, and I think we'll have more answers as the next few weeks go by. But the Chiefs receivers were not doing Mahomes, anything good. They were just playing poorly. Mahomes scrambling for his life out there, trying to find open guys, and there were so many drops out there by the Chiefs receivers. If we look at the Lions offense, they played pretty good. 14 points. You take away the one pick six, 14 points. If they wouldn't have fumbled that one ball near the red zone, I think that was in the first half, they could have had another 3 or 7 points. But they weren't amazing. That was a Lions offense that last year, I think they were 5th best scoring in the league. And the Chiefs in this game held them in check even without Chris Jones a majority of the game. The Chiefs defense played really good against the run. The Lions only had 3.5 yards per attempt. They finished with around 118 rushing yards because they ran the ball 35 times. But overall, this Chiefs defense did a pretty good job of keeping the Lions in check a majority of the game. And if you look at the Lions O-line, they held up pretty nicely. I think they allowed 11 pressures. So the Chiefs were getting some pressure, but not a ton of pressure, where Goff was able to sit back there a lot of the game and have that time to find his receivers. But this was a pretty evenly matched game last night. And without all the stupid mistakes of the Kansas City Chiefs, specifically the pick six and that play by Toney later in I believe that was in the fourth quarter, I think the Chiefs easily win this game. So in my opinion, even though I think you got to give the Lions credit, they played a good game. No doubt about that. They're a good team. I'm not questioning that. The Chiefs, I think, beat themselves more than the Lions beat them. That's my opinion from this game. And going forward with Travis Kelce back, we should see a much hotter Chiefs offense going forward, and hopefully Kelce can stay healthy, because if not, the Chiefs may want to contemplate making some kind of trade for a receiver if they have that kind of salary cap space. So that was my take from last night's game. If you want to stay up to date with things around the NFL, Packers, feel free to subscribe. But that is it for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.